Electric Nation. So if you're new to electric e-bikes, there are certain things you need to know about these batteries. I've got 5 important things to say next on Crisscrossed. Okay, so first thing you need to know about these batteries is that voltage equals range. So when you charge these batteries, you'll see on the display, it tops out at 54.6 volts. Okay, that's the max volts you can put into this battery. On the opposite end, when you're about to die, when the battery's about to run out, it's going to be a little bit below 43. So that is my red line for all e-bikers on the Lectrics. Once you dip below 43 and it stays there, you're in danger of losing the rest of this battery. At that point, you may only have a mile left. Even at that level, 43, you're going to see a huge reduction in the speed and power coming out of the motor because there's just not enough juice left in this battery at that point. So you need to keep an eye on that. You can't go by the energy bars on the bike because they're kind of notoriously unreliable sometimes. You have to go by the voltage. That's the exact measure of what you have left in these batteries. So here's how I do that when I'm riding. Take a look at this. Okay, so here's your display. Here's your energy bar up here. My battery is fully charged right now. And this is only kind of a general guide. You can't really go by this in terms of, exactly pinpointing where you are from a battery standpoint. What you have to do is you have to switch down here on the mode by pressing the power button to the voltage. And you saw that here. Actually, I'm at 50. So it's 50.78, and you see it fluctuate there. And as you're riding, that's going to go down. The more PS you put in and the more throttle you use, you're going to see that number drop kind of in real time as you ride the bike. Now, so basically this is what you need to look at when you're worried about losing your battery at that point. And again, 43.0 is kind of your red line. Once you start going past that, you're headed for danger in terms of losing battery. So while you're riding, you want to keep an eye on this. And the way I do that is I'll just coast. I won't use the throttle or PAS. And I'll see what that voltage jumps back up to as I'm riding the bike. So that's the way to check it. Or you can stop, wait a minute, and then the voltage will kind of go up a bit and tell you where you're at when you do stop the bike and get off of it to check it. But yeah, this is how you basically check the gas tank of your bike, is the voltage. A lot of people don't know that, and they go by the energy bar instead, but you can't do that. This is very unreliable as far as where you are. It has wild fluctuations in its display there, and you have to go by the voltage. That's what the VOL means. So again, 54.6 is full. Right now I'm at 50, about 75% when it's around 50 and change. So keep that in mind. All right, the number 2 most important thing about these batteries is I think these have a lifetime 700, 800 charge range. So you can charge it 700 times, and at that point it's going to really degrade on you. So if you think about that, that's good for basically 2 years if you charged every day, which I don't think most people do. At the most, I'll charge this twice a week. So that's about 100 times a year. And if Lectric says you're going to get 700 charges out of that, that battery's going to last you 7 years. I bought a second battery, and that means I'm going to get even more longer life out of this battery. So I'm going to have this battery probably for like 10 years. Long to take care of it, right? But so these are pretty long-lasting batteries. You're going to get plenty of life out of them, unless you ride every day, which maybe you're commuting, things like that. But yeah, I expect to get pretty decent life out of these batteries overall. All right, number 3 thing to know about these batteries. When you're buying any e-bike, I think what you want to look at is how many amp hours do their batteries have. If I had to guess right now, if you look at some of the major e-bike providers out there, the average amp hours on a typical battery is probably around 14. That's the one I've seen the most, is 14 amp hours. I've actually purchased a 14 amp hour aftermarket for the Lectric, but these are 10, so they come in a little bit less than average as far as the size goes. But that's what you want to look for when you're buying an e-bike, is how big is the battery. The amp hours is essentially the gas tank of your e-bike, right? The more amp hours you have in your battery, the longer you can go. That's the general rule. So that's why you always want to look out for amp hours when you're looking at e-bikes and looking at buying one, and determining how much range you can get out of that battery itself. Number 4 thing you need to know about electric batteries, you can buy more of these. You can buy them from Lectric, or you can buy from Aliexpress. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the mid-step XPs having batteries available on Aliexpress while the step-throughs did not. Well, I just looked on Aliexpress yesterday, and if you search the keyword electric step-through battery, they are there. They have the pointier end on Aliexpress now. So I believe you can buy these for the step-through now on Aliexpress in the 14 amp hour format. So I'll try and put a link in the video description to Aliexpress. You're buying from China, so buyer beware. But I had good experience with mine. It took about 30 days to get here. It cost me $350. It's in here right now, and didn't have any problems with it. It's the exact same battery, just without the Lectric name on it. So, so it looks like you can buy the step-throughs now, step-through batteries on AliExpress. I did a quick search and I saw them on there. So, I got my queue off the Facebook groups initially saying that they weren't available, but either they just put them on there on AliExpress, or they've been on there all this time and we didn't know it. So, that's good news for those of you who have a step-through, who want to get the bigger battery. And I do think it gives you more, about 5 miles more total range overall, roughly something like that. So yeah, that's number 4 on the list. And number 5 is to get the long life out of your batteries and to treat them well. Lectric says to charge them up to 75%, which means charging them to about 50 volts, like you just saw on my current battery. So what that means is you have to go out maybe about 3 hours after you've charged it, plugged it in, go out and check about 3 hours later, see where your voltage at. You should be around the 50 range, roughly speaking, right? So about maybe 3.5 hours. But then unplug it. If you know you're not riding a lot of miles the next day, just do that, and it'll last longer for you as well. I'm not a battery expert, but they say you're not supposed to top them off all the time. So when possible, just charge them to 75%, which is 50 volts, and you'll get a longer life out of these batteries. So that's the tips.